Hi, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel at the anchor desk with my partner, Clark Kellogg. Coming up on College Hoops Tonight, we'll recap the biggest games of the week, as well as tell you where the top recruit in the nation is headed. But we begin with a special player who was an easy choice as our player of the week in college basketball.
McCray had a fantastic week. He dominated the action from his power forward spot, and that's no easy task in college basketball these days.
Now, let's turn our attention to some of the action of the past week in the NCAA with our games of the week. We have a real shocker here. I don't think too many fans saw this upset coming, which makes it even better. Kansas State outdid Louisville.
This is one of those upsets that no one could predict here, Greg. Louisville is going to be knocked off their top spot after losing to a team like this.
Forney took care of business in this one. His double-double really gave his team the lift they needed. Watching him basically put his teammates on his back and single-handedly carry them to the victory in a big game situation like this was stupendous.
And it's always an event when the two colorful coaches for these teams get together. Minnesota got the better of Syracuse.
This is one of those rare games where the fans come to the arena just as much to see the men on the side of the court as the players on it. I love watching these matchups just to see the subtle differences in how both of these great coaches operate during the game. Minnesota played some absolutely stifling defense. They made the guys on the other side work for every basket, and you can see that reflected in the shooting percentage. They never let up on the defensive end.
They were really able to get into the head of their opponents with their strong, sticky, saran wrap defense. Anytime you can throw a team's rhythm off in the half court, you know you're playing tough defense.
There's just as much action in the living room as there is in the locker room at this time of year as college coaches make their pitch to high school stars around the nation in the hope of finding a special player that'll push their program to the next level. Duke is elated by the news they received this past week. One of the top recruits for next year's freshman class has committed to their school.
Norwood made up his mind after months of having coaches beating down his door, and everyone involved in that program is whistling on their way to work today.
They have a lot of reason to be happy. Here's a player that's labeled as one of the top 4 or 5 players in the entire country coming out of a high school. He may be that missing piece of the puzzle they were looking for. That's our show, everyone. For all of us here at the 2K Sports Studios, thank you for watching. We'll see you next week on College Hoops Tonight, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer.